Guys, quick tip. It's been helping me a lot with anxiety. Is going into the anxiety itself. What do I mean by that? And there's some dude cutting down a tree, so I'm gonna try to get real close to y'all. So, if you're like me and you start thinking anxious thoughts, and the anxious thoughts then create a feeling of anxiety in your body, which then makes you want to avoid any sort of anxious thought ever, and almost gives you anxiety about having anxiety, where you're like, oh shit, like I hope I don't have anxiety in this environment, or you're pretty much just anxious about being anxious, right? Like the thought of having anxious thoughts makes you anxious in itself, if that makes sense. So what's worked for me, this is what my therapist has taught me, is to simply observe and identify the thoughts. So, give you guys a scenario. I'm sitting there, I start having anxious thoughts, right? Instead of trying to avoid the thoughts, thinking, oh, don't think these thoughts, or let me distract myself, or let me go do something to avoid these thoughts, I simply get present in my body, and I simply observe the thoughts, okay? I'm not trying to change the thoughts. I'm not trying to reword the thoughts. I'm not trying to self-soothe and say, well, no, it's really going to be okay, and this and this and this. I just simply watch the thought as if it's a sentence going across my mind on a teleprompter, right? Or a cloud passing by in the sky of my mind. And, from there, inevitably a few more anxious thoughts come, a few more come. But I simply don't attach to them, right? I don't try to change them. I don't try to self-soothe. I don't try to make myself feel better. I just look at them for what they are, okay? Now, in my body, I might feel more anxious temporarily, right? I might get a spike in anxiety. But after this string of anxious thoughts is done going through my mind, I always start to feel way more calm and relaxed. Because what my therapist taught me is that anxiety is kind of like a spiral. If you cling on to those thoughts as they're passing by, cling on, and you're trying to no, I don't want to think this, it goes, starts tripping out, right? And this is why meditation helps a lot as well, because you learn to slow your mind, you learn to observe your thoughts. So, just a little tip for you guys. And when you start having these anxious thoughts, be patient and compassionate with yourself. It takes time, and you guys got this. Love y'all. Peace.